It's ARP fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family-owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Get your motors running. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars return to Volusia Speedway Park in March for the Bike Week Jamboree. 2 huge nights with the greatest show on dirt, March 2nd and 3rd at the world's fastest half mile. Championship battles, rising stars, and incredibly fast cars. The World of Outlaws at Volusia Speedway Park, March 2nd and 3rd. Tickets and more at worldofoutlaws.com. Be there.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick-change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
This is a DIRTVision special presentation. The best drivers, the best coverage. It's time to watch the greatest shows on dirt on DIRTVision.
When it started 54 years ago, who would have dreamed it'd turn into the 3-week phenomenon that it is today with 7 different disciplines of dirt racing featured? I'm talking about none other, of course, than the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals from Florida's Volusia Speedway Park. Welcome in, everyone. My name is Connor Wade, and DIRTVision is your home over the next 2.5 weeks as fans and drivers from all over the place all assemble at Volusia Speedway Park for the 54th annual Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. It kicks off tonight. It also serves as the season opener for the American Sprint Car Series and the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. As for ASCS, they make their debut, their series debut, here at the world's fastest half mile. And there's a reason we race down here in Florida this time of year, and that is because of this weather. Our current race cast shows you 73 degrees, a very nice cool breeze, clear and sunny skies, I should say. Great weather scheduled all weekend here on the first weekend of the DIRTcar Nationals, which runs now 2.5 weeks. So we call it 3 weeks in total for the first time ever. And let's set the stage for what the next 3 weeks are going to look like. We're going to see drivers from all sorts of different disciplines of dirt racing, just about every single one you can think of. Starting, of course, this weekend with the American Sprint Car Series, joined by the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. The UMP mods, they've got a busy slate during DC, and they'll be by themselves on Monday and Tuesday, but they'll run every day next week. Wednesday through Saturday, they'll be joined by the greatest show on dirt, of course, the World of Outlaws at NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. As for week 3, which kicks off after the Super Bowl on February 10th, USAC non-wing 410 sprint cars here for 2 nights of racing. The DIRTcar late models here February 10th through the 12th. On February 12th, the Super DIRTcar Series Bid Block Modifieds take on Volusia as the Beasts of the Northeast will make their annual visit to the world's fastest half mile. And of course, on the 13th to the 15th of February, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series will wrap up DIRTcar Nationals. So going to be an outstanding 3 weeks here in the state of Florida. You can catch every lap live on DIRTVision. Let's talk about the American Sprint Car Series to kick off tonight's Wade's World as they begin their 2025 season. Of course, the ASCS purchased by World Racing Group very late towards the beginning of the 2024 season. The schedule was put together, refined a little bit, and what we saw was a great championship battle. And with a lot of new in the season, we got a new champion in Seth Birdman. It's going to be another great season for ASCS now that WRG has had a whole off season to prepare for the upcoming year. At the Chili Bowl in Tulsa last month, DIRTVision's own Dave Reef caught up with ASCS Series Director Lonnie Wheatley and Series Announcer Randy Ward to talk through the 2025 ASCS schedule. Let's show you a clip of that conversation.
Let's just go ahead and start breaking this thing down. Volusia Speedway Park, we get to go there for 3 days, including a 12K to win. It's kind of going to be the early start to the ASCS season.
Sure, get a few weeks off. April 12th, we resume things at Salina High Bank Speedway. Then 2 weeks later, we really get things going at RPM Speedway in Crandall, Texas, April 25th and 26th. And we'll stay pretty busy from that point on through the rest of the year.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. I see plenty of new tracks, especially a couple of them coming in early. Windy Hollow Speedway among them.
Well, that'll make 2 tracks in the state of Kentucky.
A little on again, off again, as we mentioned with Volusia, a little break before we start here. But then once we hit the end of May,
yep,
full tilt boogie, baby.
All the way. And I think it says a lot about our past season. You know, we look at our schedule. At this point, I believe we have 36 confirmed dates, still working on a handful of others. But we're going back to 14 tracks that host the series in 2024. There's at least 9 new tracks on the schedule right now. And there'll probably be 1 or 2 more added in the coming weeks. So that says a lot about the 2024 season, and we'll continue to build on that 2025.
Of course, we are in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The series will return at the end of June, and then we will kickstart July. Talk about a 4th of July. You tipped your hand to it already.
Belleville's a place I've been to a lot over the years. I helped with their 305 Nationals for quite some time, so I know the people up there that run the racetrack.
And we got Lakeside coming up after that. A couple other stops before we're right back at Knoxville.
ASCS has been going to Knoxville, part of those 360 Nationals, for a long time, and that's an event we're proud to be a part of. And that's another event that's similar to Volusia. Volusia and Knoxville will be 2 of the races where our regular drivers get challenged by a lot of outsiders.
What happens after the 360 National?
We start heading north. We've got 4 races in Montana, and we talk about going to marquee places. When we go to Montana, it's kind of a marquee event for all the race fans in that state.
Back at Creek County Speedway to wrap up the championship. Is there any other place to do it?
I don't know where else you do it. That's where the American Sprint Car Series started in 1992, so there's nothing more fitting.
We look forward to seeing you on the American Sprint Car Series National Tour coming up in 2025.
Great things to come in 2025 for the American Sprint Car Series. Excited to see how it plays out, especially because of the drivers that we're going to see competing for that championship. 16 drivers already have committed to running full-time in 2025 and chasing a championship, and there could be a couple more that join. Now, it's worth noting we will not see all 16 of those drivers in action at Volusia this weekend. They were given the option to skip 1 event throughout the season. Randy Ward will tell you more about how that works later on in the night. But 16 drivers set to battle for that championship. It promises to be an exciting year, especially with one driver that last time he was with the ASCS full-time, he won the championship, and that's Blake Hahn, who will return in 2025 to the ASCS to run full-time and compete for his 3rd series championship. And yes, the ASCS is a little bit more special to Blake Hahn, perhaps, than anybody else. His grandfather, Emmett Hahn, the founder and longtime owner and operator of the American Sprint Car Series. So Blake is happy to be back. If there's such thing as one series being home for a driver, it's the ASCS for Blake Hahn.
You know, I grew up around Tulsa. I got every time I got a chance, I was watching ASCS at my local tracks, Creek County, and a bunch of other places around there. So for me, it means a lot to be able to come back and run. Obviously, we've been able to pick up 2 wins, so we're gunning for our 3rd this year. So coming back strong, hopefully we can have a good year. It's really good for me. I got 2 little ones at home, so being able to be at home and being able to take them to the races with me too. This trip and then up to Montana is the only ones that are really far for us. So other than that, we get to stay around home pretty often. So it's good for us. But yeah, it's been really good. It's been cool to see what WRG's been able to do with ASCS, and obviously it's only going to continue to grow. So I'm glad to be able to be back this year. And like I said, I hope to be able to compete for a championship.
Blake Hahn's career numbers with the ASCS speak for themselves. 328 starts, 22 trips to victory lane, 125 top fives, 2 championships, of course, but every year that Blake Hahn ran ASCS full-time, he was a championship contender, and he is back in 2025. Blake's not the only driver that's in contend for that championship. We've got a lot of time to tell you about those drivers throughout the weekend and throughout the season. While it is the first time the American Sprint Car Series has competed here at Volusia Speedway Park, 360 Sprint Car Racing has established itself to be pretty prominent here at the world's fastest half mile. The last 2 years, 360 drivers had the opportunity to compete essentially this very weekend in what was called the Southern Sprint Car Shootout. That event essentially merged into DIRTcar Nationals so that the 360 and ASCS guys can chase a Bid Gator championship. That's right, we'll crown the first ever 360 Bid Gator winner on Saturday night, and look for the drivers that ran this weekend, this 360 weekend at Volusia, the last 2 years to do well. A couple just to name: Sam Haferteep Jr. won a prelim last year, Tyler Clem, the inaugural winner of this event in 2023, and Austin McCarl, who put on a show, a couple of podium finishes last year in this event. McCarl and Haferteep had a couple of really memorable battles, and I think that's left everybody excited for 360s to get back here to Volusia Speedway Park. If you ask the big unit who spends most of his year 410 racing, 360 racing kind of proved itself here at Volusia last year. Let's hear from Austin McCarl.
Yeah, I mean, 360 racing can be good, and you know, I prefer 410s obviously, but yeah, I think it's just like anything. The track prep is first and foremost probably the most important thing. You give us 2 lanes and a slick middle, and you're going to see good racing. I mean, sprint car racing's awesome, and I mean, 360s now are making just as much horsepower as 410s were 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe less. So kind of going back and taking what you think you've learned over the winter and looking back at notes, and hopefully coming in with as good a package as you think we can. I'm opening the year with a new crew chief, Scotty Martin, that I'm really excited about. So just working together with him and kind of feeling each other out. I mean, it's one thing to build race cars and work in the shop all winter, but once you get racing and kind of figuring out each other and what I like and how he works and how I work and like to run my program. So it's really just kind of getting our feet wet and just kind of hopefully remembering how to do it, right? It's funny, you sit all winter and it sucks watching all these guys in Australia and the Chili Bowl and all this other stuff, and you start fiending and wanting to race, man. You're like, man, can I still do this? So yeah, hopefully just come out strong and fast and just go from there.
McCarl looks for more Volusia success. To do so, he will have to hold off the stout field that we have. 53 cars in total in action this weekend at Volusia Speedway Park with the American Sprint Car Series to kick off the DIRTcar Nationals. Not only the ASCS in action, but as I mentioned earlier, the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds kick off a very busy stretch of 9 races in 10 days right here at Volusia Speedway Park. They race these 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They do have Sunday off, and then Monday through Saturday of next week. So these DIRTcar UMP Modified guys really are the Ironmen of the DIRTcar Nationals, and by the time we get to Monday, we do expect over 100 DIRTcar UMP Modified entries in the field. Still a very strong car count of 61 here this evening, highlighted by some drivers that we've seen do well here at Volusia in the past. Some drivers to watch tonight include last year's Bid Gator champion Kyle Strickler, Will Krupp, always tough coming down from the Midwest, Lucas Lee, who's always good in the state of Florida this time of year, Dustin Sorensen, a late model name, and then of course David Strimmy, who brings a little bit of NASCAR experience into his success at the DIRTcar UMP Modified level. It's interesting to note that the DIRTcar UMP Modified's 3 nights this weekend will not count towards their overall Bid Gator championship that they chase next Monday through Saturday. So the chase for next Saturday night's Bid Gator will actually start next Monday. It's going to be a great weekend for both the ASCS and the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Let's take a look at the order of events for our program here tonight. We'll start things out with hot laps for the American Sprint Car Series. They'll go right into group qualifying. After that, they will qualify with their heat race for, I believe, 3 cars at a time. After that, DIRTcar UMP Modifieds will make their way out for hot laps and then go right into qualifying 4 cars at a time for 2 laps. We'll take a quick break for opening ceremonies after that. Heat race action: 5 8-lap heat races for the American Sprint Car Series, 6 8-lap heat races for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. After those mod heats, we'll have the dash draw for the ASCS, an 8-lap C-Main, 5-lap dash, and then 12-lap Smith Titanium last chance showdown on the card for ASCS. 3 last chance showdowns for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds, and that leads us into feature action. The ASCS sprint cars will be at first 25 laps in distance, and then 20 laps for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Chris Steppen will be on the call for the mods tonight. We'll hear from him momentarily, but for now, we're going to go to Randy Ward, the series announcer for ASCS, to kick off the first sprint car race in the United States in 2025. And Randy, no better fashion to do it than at a beautiful racetrack with an incredible field of cars.
Incredible field, maybe the most accurate statement we can have tonight. 53 entries here for the season opener for the American Sprint Car Series National Tour. You mentioned Chris Steppen. He's here getting his notes ready. And then Bob Stokel also will join us. He's a local announcer here at Volusia Speedway. Chris, it is going to be an exciting night to kick off these DIRTcar Nationals.
Yeah, you know, we all were walking through the pits this afternoon kind of wondering what the car count would be, and 53 sprint cars, and there's 62 DIRTcar UMP mods. We just had a late arrival come in. So over 100 cars to kick off this 3-day opening weekend for the DIRTcar Nationals.
And the thing about that, a lot of those cars are really strong cars.
Yep.
No slouches made the trip down.
No, for sure. I mean, these guys are amped and ready to go. And you know, if you've been watching the weather, it hasn't been the prettiest start to speed weeks anywhere. It's been wet. It's been cold. There was a snowstorm in Florida.
Yep.
We do not have that today. Connor mentioned it already. It's 73 and sunny. It could not be better.
No, it was actually pretty warm this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Walking through the pit area. We're looking at some race cars now pulling into the infield. These are part of group number 1 and 2 for hot lap sessions here. So we have drawn a number for the drivers to decide if they're in group 1 through 5 for qualifying tonight on the American Sprint Car Series. We will hot lap groups 1 and 2 together, then we will hot lap groups 3 and 4 together, and then group 5 will get its hot lap. All the cars will go back to the infield, and we will go right into sprint car qualifying following those hot laps. So there won't be a lot of time for drivers to make adjustments. They're kind of, minor adjustments is all you're going to have time to do after your hot lap session. So it's kind of pressure on the crews to get it right from the get-go.
Well, and we talk about every lap matters all the time, right? Every time you're on that racetrack, it is very important that you are on your A game. And when you go from hot laps to qualifying in such a quick turnaround, you better be on at the start of the show.
Some of those cars in the infield that we're looking at right now, the number 20, the driver out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Brady Bacon, will pilot that car. It's a Chris Dyson Racing Concord American flagpole backed entry here this weekend. Brady Bacon, out of Oklahoma originally, now resides up in Indiana. Will be looking to do more winged racing in the 2025 season. The car right beside him, that's the 48 of Danny Dietrich from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the Weikert's Livestock, Sandoz Fruit Market entry. Push vehicles are pulling in behind him, so I think we're just moments away from those cars starting to roll and hit the racetrack. Dietrich 12 times a feature winner in 2024. We'll see what he can do here this year. That number 2, that is Whit Gastineau. He's out of Oklahoma City. Statewide Services, K&F Collision on board. Whit Gastineau picked up an ASCS Sooner Region victory back in 2024 at the Elk City Motorsports Park in Oklahoma. He was 5th with the National Tour at the Red Dirt Raceway in Meeker, Oklahoma. Back early in the season a year ago, he had just a few starts with the National Tour in the 2024 calendar year, looking to have some more here in 2025 and starting it off on the right foot by making the trip all the way down here to Florida out of Oklahoma City. The car beside him, that's Bradley Fazard. It'll be his 2nd year on the road with the National Tour. Fazard comes out of Bonnerdale, Arkansas. V&H Fresh on board, and they say there's no substitute for quality. We appreciate the Bradley Fazard team for coming out. The 0, Glenn Stiers out of Ohsweken, Ontario. And then the other car there in the infield we're getting a look at on the DIRTVision broadcast is Jordan Thomas out of Harding, Pennsylvania. He finished 2nd in the URC point standings in 2024. That's Jordan Thomas. The Bob Lillick of BRB Contractors and Lillick Enterprises backed entry. So some more of the race cars making their way into the infield here for our opening session. All right, so there we're watching more of the cars cross into the infield. Again, we'll get groups 1 and 2 will go onto the raceway first, which should compile about 22 cars for our first hot lap session. All right, they're going to close the gate on the back stretch and start pushing cars onto the raceway. We'll let you know who more of those drivers are once they start to roll onto this big half mile here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Let's go on down trackside. Connor Wade is down in the infield. Connor?
You know, Randy, this 360 weekend at Volusia Speedway Park the last 2 years has just been absolutely incredible. Been one of my favorites to watch. And one of the reasons for that, look at these 3 cars right here on the front row and just the drivers. Danny Dietrich, the reigning Central PA champion, one of the best, probably if not the best driver that comes out of Central Pennsylvania. Brady Bacon, a Hall of Famer for what he's accomplished on the non-wing side of things, a 4-time USAC non-wing champion. And then Ryder LaPlante, a youngster who's really very, very new to sprint cars, just cutting his teeth and about to go out on a national tour for the first time in 2025. The diversity that you get at this event is really, really special and something you don't really find at every race across the country on a typical Saturday night.
Absolutely. Thank you, Connor. And just like that, hot laps will get underway, starting to push first group of cars onto the speedway. Danny Dietrich, the first race car to hit the racing surface. Of course, we'll get 22 of them onto the racetrack before we turn them loose here in the first hot lap session. Again, these will be cars that will be in qualifying groups 1 and 2 here in a little bit. They will also represent heat races 1 and 2. Of course, their lineup for those heat races will be determined based on their qualifying time trials coming up, which will be 3 cars at a time here tonight for the American Sprint Car Series. We're looking at Ryder LaPlante, the 88R machine. He's out of Calera, Oklahoma. Multi-time track and series, touring series champion in the micro ranks in Oklahoma and Texas. He moved up to the sprint cars with some 305 and a few 360 starts last year. Ryder LaPlante set to take on the national tour with the American Sprint Car Series here in 2025. Taking on the national tour for a second year in a row will be the 938 Bradley Fazard, the Ralston's Corner Cafe, Hooten Oil, and Brandon Ranch. On board again for the former PowerEye and now 600 Micro champ. Finished 12th in his rookie year with the American Sprint Car Series 1 season ago. Whit Gastineau from Oklahoma City, statewide services, K&F Collision on board. You know, Gastineau is a lot of sprint car wins under his belt there in the state of Oklahoma. A lot of those in Oklahoma City. He's won at many tracks in the state of Oklahoma in a carbureted sprint car several years ago. Been running with the Oil Capital Racing Series and the American Sprint Car Series Sooner Region Tours more recently. We look for more starts here on the national tour with Whit Gastineau this season. 77T, that's Tyler Powless. He's out of Ohsweken, Ontario. Aero Express and Route 54 variety and gas on the 77T of Powless. 2 times a winner at the Brighton Speedway in Ontario in 2024. Of course, Glenn Stiers, also from Ohsweken, Ontario, in the Zero, the Glenn Stiers Racing entry. The Ohsweken Speedway number 0. Glenn Stiers was behind the wheel at the Chili Bowl Nationals a few weeks ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a midget. Back in his sprint car here this weekend. Here's the G5 out of Columbus, Indiana, Gunnar Setzer. He's raced a lot in the midget ranks last year. He had a few winged 360 starts, but a very successful micro career for the 16-year-old Gunnar Setzer out of Columbus, Indiana, in the Midwest Tube Mills and Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, number G5. Matt Covington, 2023 ASCS National runner-up. He finished in the top 5 with this 1 year ago. Multi-time regional champ with the American Sprint Car Series, and he's been to victory lane on the national tour 18 times. That's Matt Covington out of Glenpool, Oklahoma. They're starting to spread them out and pick up some pace here on our first hot lap session of the night. See the 16G, that's Austin Gossel. See if we're actually looking at the G or the H. So Austin Gossel in the 16G tonight, and an identical car, 16H, will be Hank Davis. This is 6G of Brian Gossel out of Windsor, Colorado. The BG Automotive entry, Schaefer Race Oils on board as well for Brian Gossel. His first race back behind the wheel since a crash at the Arrowhead Speedway last September in Coldport, Oklahoma. So hot lap session number 1 on the raceway. Covington feeling his way out around the big half mile here. Glenn Stiers has the fastest lap so far at a 15:7:34. Now Brady Bacon. A lap to go in this hot lap session. Brady Bacon, a 15:497. 15:497. Glenn Stiers, Danny Dietrich, Whit Gastineau, and Austin Gossel, the fastest so far in hot lap session number 1. So there's a look at the 20 of Bacon. He will have the fastest time in the group, 15:455 for Brady Bacon. Danny Dietrich fastest at a 15:530. Whit Gastineau, third quickest in the group at a 15:661. So group number 2 will sit in the infield. They'll come out, they'll actually have their hot lap session next. So group number 2, we only did 11 cars. Here come the next 11 lining up to push off. The number 4 sitting there, Cameron Martin. He's out of Ankeny, Iowa. C&D Elevator Construction entry. Finished in the top 10 in the A feature here at Volusia Speedway Park last year at the DIRTcar Nationals. All 3 nights finished in the top 10. Of course, it was not sanctioned with the American Sprint Car Series at that time, but he's back and confident coming in to the program this evening. 77T, that's Tyler Paulus out of Ontario. And the 14BW, Brett Wright. Brett Wright is out of East Chatham, New York. He's a competitor with the Empire Super Sprint Series. He runs a Panther chassis with J&D Waste Equipment, Wright Motorsports on the side of that 14BW. '34 race car, Sterling Kling. He's out of Tempe, Arizona, DRC chassis for Kling. He raced 2 times a year ago with the American Sprint Car Series, and both times he finished in the top 5. Both of those starts came last fall at Benton, Missouri and Paducah, Kentucky for Sterling Kling. The cars are rolling onto the raceway now. 14 of Brett Wright, 77 of Paulus, and the 4 of Martin. So the 16H is pushed on the raceway as well. Hank Davis out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma, driving one of those Gossel entries. BG Automotive, Schaefer Race Oil, King Race Products back that entry of that race car. Hank Davis, the American Sprint Car Series Rookie of the Year in 2024. He went to victory lane 3 times on the national circuit last season. And he's also a 2023 Chili Bowl preliminary night winner. The 36, Jason Martin, a native out of Liberal, Kansas. He's the 2023 American Sprint Car Series champ. He had 9 wins on the series in 2023. He picked up 1 victory in 2024, but it was a big one. A $10,000 to win score at the Arrowhead Speedway in September. And there's that 34 of Sterling Kling. Motor State entry, driver out of Arizona, picked up a couple of wins with USCS last November. Both of those victories were in the state of Tennessee. 51 machine of John Brinfleck out of Ewing, New Jersey. 10 Hoagie Customs, Chalmings Electric on the 51. He raced a variety of sprint cars in 2024 from 305s, 360s, 410s. His best finish was a third at the New Egypt Speedway in New Jersey. The 11K, Joshua Kunstbeck out of DeLand, Florida, so just up the road a few minutes. Sam's Vending, DeLand Auto Parts, and Crawford Signs on that 11K of Kunstbeck. The 2J machine, that's Zach Blurton, a rookie, a contender on the National Tour. He's got one National Tour victory to his credit. That was in 2022 in the state of Kansas. He's out of Quinter, Kansas. Martin Racing and Summit Automotive Group on the race car. Watching the 4 of Cameron Martin. He had a fast lap time on his first lap, but his second quick in the group. Hank Davis fastest in the group with a 15.027. Hank Davis fastest right now at the 15.027. A little bit of smoke coming off that 2 car of Blurton as he went through turns 1 and 2. Watching Hank 16H. 15.027 for Hank. Sterling Kling second quick. Brinfleck third and Cameron Martin fourth fastest here in the group. So Hank Davis a 15.027. Taking a look down the back straightaway, you'll see that gate on the left side. That's exiting turn 2 of the raceway, but see the cars come across from the pits. The pits are outside of the racetrack for the sprint cars here at Volusia Raceway Park. So 2 groups of hot laps have run. Cars are in the infield. Fastest in the first group was Brady Bacon at a 15.455. Fastest in the second group, the speeds picked up. Hank Davis was fastest at a 15.027. Hank, Sterling Kling, and John Brinfleck, the fastest 3 so far. Fastest 5 times all came from that second hot lap group, so the track definitely picking up some speed as they get it worked in here. Cars going straight onto the racetrack now to fire once they come on from the back straightaway gate. So I don't believe they were supposed to go onto the raceway. We'll see how we get it situated now. Some of the cars coming into the infield, some onto the back stretch. So they'll get them all fired up and ready to go here shortly. We can tell you the 88M on the raceway. That's that first car you see. That is Austin McCarl from Altoona, Iowa. Country Builders Construction, Tucker Trucking, and Okochuco West, number 88M. A winner here at Volusia on a preliminary night last January for Austin McCarl. Also sitting on the raceway's Elijah Giles, number 13, out of Phoenix, Arizona. 14 years old. Elijah Guile had limited starts with the National Tour in 2024. We expect to see a few more here in 2025. He's in a Racecraft, Hinchman Racing Uniforms, SBS and Factory Cane, number 13. Some more of the race cars on the track include the 16 of Kevin Newton. It's out of Terre Haute, Indiana, the Honest Abe Roofing and Metal Supply Depot 16. Beside him is that 26 out of Monrovia, Indiana. It's Justin Peck, driving the Rudine Racing Skagit Speedway, number 26. Justin Peck, a Trophy Cup Night #1 winner last fall. He's got more than a dozen 410 sprint car wins over the last handful of years. Justin Peck now piloting the 26 machine. The 6S is Tyler Clem from St. Petersburg, Florida. Picked up 4 checkered flags here at Volusia in 2024. And he won this event in 2023. So Tyler Clem will be a car to keep an eye on out of the Florida cars here this weekend. The 88C is Brogan Carter. He's out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Dakota Outlaw, they call him. And you see Living Like Outlaws on the side of his car. Tribute to Wes down there at the Living Like Outlaws program. Brogan Carter from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Rosebud and Bam Bam's barbecue sauce. And Octane also on the side of the number 88 car. The 13 that's rolling, that's going to be the 13P of Dason Pursley out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The Pella Windows and Doors, Avanti Windows and Doors, and Big Spring Car Wash, number 13P tonight. He's your 2024 USAC National Midget Champ. He's also a 2-time now 600 champion in the restricted micro back in 2016 and 2017. The 2C machine, that's the car Hank Davis drove to Rookie of the Year honors a year ago on the national tour. That car now piloted by Cole Macedo out of Lemoore, California. Cole Macedo going to run the World of Outlaws in 2025 for 2C racing. They've got rod-end supply, outlaw wings, and high-side racewear on the side of the race car. He's already been to victory lane 3 times this year, Cole Macedo, down in Australia. The 28F, that'll be Davey Franick out of New Jersey. The Davey Franick Auto Sales, Rapid Tire Scotty Signs entry. 2-time Patriot Sprint Car Tour champion. He finished 2nd here at Volusia 2 years ago. We'll keep an eye on Davey Franick in that 28 car. Watching the 88 now of Austin McCarl pace down the front straightaway. Of course, he's coming down here with hopes of high success. You know, he won a preliminary night 1 year ago down here at Volusia, so he knows he's in contention. If he get his stuff right, he's got a shot to take home the big prize on Saturday night. He finished 3rd in the 360 Nationals last summer at the Knoxville Raceway. Elijah Guile, this 13 on the backstretch now. Kind of moved up the ranks from micro sprints and made the move pretty quick. And hasn't found victory lane like he wants to just yet in the big sprint car, but he's had some good runs and looking to put it all together here in 2025. Hager Realty Service, Ford Performance, Race Rudine Foundation among the supporters of that 26 for Justin Peck, Monrovia, Indiana driver. Several drivers in the field this weekend looking to make their first ever start with the American Sprint Car Series. Justin Peck has made 3, so limited A-feature starts in his career with the American Sprint Car Series for the driver of the 26 this weekend. Tyler Clem in the 6 car. The winner of this event a couple of years ago has never made an American Sprint Car Series A feature event, so looking to make history for him and his team here this weekend. Hot lap session underway. This is the 3rd hot lap session. Brogan Carter, that Living Like Outlaws tribute graphics this weekend. So just about one more lap here in this session. Live timing and scoring kind of shows Cole Macedo, the fastest car. We're looking at him right there in the 2C of 14.669. Track record is a 14.160 for the 360s here. So we're creeping down. We've shaved off about 0.8 of a second in the lap from our first hot lap session here into the 3rd. Jason Pursley, the 13 car, turned the fastest lap in that session of 14.660, just beating out Cole Macedo's time of 14.669. So Jason Pursley, the fastest car so far in hot laps. Of course, all the times, the ones that matter, will come in qualifying. I'll give you a little idea of who's running good before we get to that point. Pursley, Macedo, and Austin McCarl were the fastest 3 in that group. So we'll get those cars off the racetrack. Cars for group number 4 will make their way onto the raceway next. The 1A, that'll be Jacob Allen. He's out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. The RF Knox, Pell's Tire Service, the Auto Barn. Supporting the entry for Jacob Allen. He went to victory lane 4 times in 2024. 5 times a career winner with the World of Outlaws. He'll be sticking around and running the World of Outlaws next week here at Volusia Speedway Park. Chase Moran in the 4P. He's out of Fultonville, New York. The FX Caprara, number 4P. He was a winner at the Bear Ridge Speedway in Vermont last season. Chase Moran in the 4P. The 63 is Josh Weller out of Mertztown, Pennsylvania. Dr. Diesel, AssuredAutomation.com, Victory Auto Glass, helping Josh Weller get down here from Pennsylvania into Florida for the weekend's racing action. He won 3 times in a sprint car last year up in Delaware and in New Jersey. That's Josh Weller driving the 63. Car number 52, Blake Hahn, Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Smiley's Racing Products, Glenn Stiers Racing, CSR Garage, and Blood Lubricants, number 52. 2-time champion with the American Sprint Car Series. And he picked up a win with the series last November at the Creek County Speedway there in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Danny Martin Jr., Sarasota, Florida, drives the 24, Shaw Racing, Pipe Restoration Solutions, Joe's Signs, Berryman Shocks on the 24. The 12S, Aiden Schmidt out of Hopstock, Indiana. West Side Auto, Engler Machine and Tool, A&N Transport on Aiden Schmidt's number 12S. Caution on the racetrack. We got a car stopped at the top of turn number 4. That's Jacob Allen's entry out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. American Sprint Car Series safety crew on scene to assist, get the 1A back in gear. It was Danny Martin Jr. There in the first lap, everyone got. That was the fastest in that session. He had a 15.010. But we'll get them back up to speed here and see where they fall. So Jacob Allen taking the one car. Going to make a turn into the infield. He's done for the hot lap session. Get some help getting him to the pits in a moment. The 97 UK, that's Ryan Harrison. He comes to us from England. That race car they keep based in the Ohio area. Ryan comes over, said about 4 times a year to try and race some events. Got KBTS Transport Solutions, Hambridge Transport, Go Goodwin on the 97 UK. .51T out of Wisconsin, Scotty Thiel. 51, the Home Pro Roofing entry. .27M, Austin Martin, Sarasota, Florida. Drives this race car. One of several Florida drivers trying their hand here at the DIRTcar Nationals. The green-white checker here, once they get them refired in this hot lap session, track is clear, we're going green. Danny Martin in that 24, of course, had the quickest time before we went yellow. We'll see if he still stays fastest or some others pick up some speed once they get a lap or two around this half-mile racetrack. Blake Hahn across the line, and he goes to the top of the charts in the group. 14.633 for Blake Hahn. William Hull, 14.892, the next fastest. And then Scotty Thiel, 14.986. So Blake Hahn, a 14.633, quickest car in the group. .25, John Crowder, Summerfield, Florida, was in that session. Crowder from Summerfield. Did not get a lap time recorded for him in that session, so I'll have to get a transponder in on the 25. Beautiful night here in the Daytona area. We're just outside of DeLand, Florida. For night number 1 of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. One hot lap session to go, and then we'll roll into qualifying for the American Sprint Car Series. 21, Brian Brown, Grain Valley, Missouri. The Casey's General Store, FVP, Andy's Frozen Custards, Impact Signs, and JD Welding, number 21. Of course, he's a 2-time Knoxville 360 Nationals champion. And he's had success here at Volusia Speedway Park as well. 6 top 5s in 410 sprint car competition. Going to give it a shot with the American Sprint Car Series here this weekend. Well, the final hot lap session of cars staged on the back straightaway. They'll start to roll. Brian Brown gets to be the first car to push. The 20D, Danny Sams, the third. Northport, Florida. One-Way Technologies, Engler Machine and Tools, CSI Shocks. Had a good year in 2024, 6 times a feature winner for Danny Sams. He did win here at Volusia as well. That victory came back in August of 2024. There's the 5H. So the driver of that car from Cobble Hill, British Columbia. That'll be Robbie Price driving the 5H this weekend. That's the JJM Performance. Bray Industries, Diver Motors, and Big Sky Speedway. 5H, Robbie Price, the track champion at the Skagit Speedway back in 2017. Gets his shot here at Volusia this weekend. Car number 44. Chris Martin. C&D Elevator Construction, Northway's Heating and Cooling. Higher View Enterprises 44. He was a winner with the ASCS Hurricane Super Sprints back in October over in Alabama. And he raced here at Volusia early last year and got top 5. So keep an eye on Chris Martin. 88J out of Pennsylvania. Joey Amantia, the Amantia Real Estate, JPA Masonry, Area 54 LLC. Sprint car winner at Port Royal a year ago. Seeing what he can do down here at Volusia. Robbie Price, piling of the 5H. Harley White also drives that car from time to time. We may see her in it quite a bit in 2025. At 96, be the 96 of Brandon Sampson. He's out of Mesa, Arizona. Raced quarter midgets, then micros, now into the sprint cars. Planned to have a big year a year ago, but they weren't quite geared up for it. Had some engine problems and ended their year pretty early, but they're geared up ready to go in 2025. 71, Brady Baker, Alexander, Arkansas. 17 years old, and man, he's got some talent. Finished in the top 5 with the American Sprint Car Series 4 times last year in limited starts with the series. There's Kyler Johnson from Winter, Kansas, the Double Diamond Farms, Kuntz Manures, Freddy 45X. Top 10 in national points a year ago. He also picked up a win in 360 competition in Nebraska in 2024. Hoping to get his first ASCS national victory this year. That's Kyler Johnson out of Winter, Kansas. Jordan Thomas from Harding, Pennsylvania, pilots that number 7 for Bob Lillick. Bob Lillick, BRB Contractors, Lillick Enterprises. Brian Brown, fastest on the track. Well, let's scratch that. He just got bumped down to 3rd. Sam Haferteep, fastest on the racetrack with the 14.524. 14.524 for that 15H of Sam Haferteep Jr. Emerson Axum in the 27A. Was second quick with the 14.569. So, Axum and Haferteep, both the fastest in the final hot lap session. All right, so all those cars will make their way into the infield and then get turned around to head out of the raceway. These are cars staged for qualifying. Track record 14.160. 14.160. That was Brenham Crouch back in 2023. Before we get set for qualifying, let's send it down to Connor Wade.
Going down in the second group of 3 will be ASCS regular Matt Covington coming to Volusia for the first time. Matt, going to go out early here and qualify 3 cars at a time out in the second group. And I know you watched the last couple of hot lap sessions. What kind of racetrack are these guys that are going out early going to have to qualify on?
It just looks really big, fast, and sandy. Glad to be out here. Guy don't have to twist my arm very hard to bring me to Florida. We've been in the teens the last couple of weeks over there in Oklahoma, where I'm from. So glad to be here, and track looks great to me. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun weekend.
All right, Matt Covington, excited, in a good mood, getting ready to make his qualifying run here on night 1 of the DIRTcar Nationals.
All right, thank you, Connor. Cars lining up, so we'll do 3 at a time here tonight. Normally the American Sprint Car Series does 2 at a time. But big track here, we're going to go 3 cars for qualifying efforts. American Sprint Car Series officials confirming all the cars are staged and ready for Group 1. So the first 11 cars that will qualify will be considered Group 1. Their times will line up against each other to determine the lineup for heat race number 1 later tonight. So their times only go against these first 11 cars. Fastest qualifier out of the group will start 4th in the heat race tonight. So the first car to push off, Ryder LaPlante, Calera, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Truck Driving Academy LS Construction LM Trucking number 88R. He'll be joined by the 2 of Whit Gastineau out of Oklahoma City. Statewide Services KNF Collision number 2. And the third car in the group to qualify will be Brady Bacon out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Chris Dyson Racing in Concord American Flagpole number 20 for Brady Bacon. So 3 Oklahoma drivers, Bacon a native of Oklahoma, are on the racetrack here for the start of qualifying. They get 1 warm-up lap and 2 laps on the clock. So they're completing the warm-up lap now. Ryder LaPlante already on the clock. He's coming around turns 3 and 4. Actually, his second time lap now. So they've all recorded a lap. Brady Bacon fastest 14.430, LaPlante 14.934, and Gastineau 14.995. Those will improve for everyone. Brady Bacon 14.407, LaPlante to 14.934, and Gastineau a 14.995. So Brady Bacon, the fastest out of the first 3 cars with the 14.407, so that sets the mark for the rest of the field here to follow. 10X, that's Joel Charles. He's out of West Palm Beach. JC Customs, Gap Performance, and Florida High Performance. He's on the raceway. He'll be joined by the 16G of Austin Gossel. BG Automotive, Schaefer Race Oil, King Race Products for the Windsor, Colorado driver. And the 938 of Bradley Fazard. Fazard out of Bonnerdale, Arkansas. Coming around, Charles, 4th quick, 15.661. Gossel second quick, 14.684, and Fazard 4th in the charts with a 14.9. So it's Bacon and then Gossel, the top 2. We'll see what happens here on their second lap. Charles will stay down at the bottom of the charts at 15.472. Gossel keeps his first lap time, 2nd in the group, and Bradley Fazard will jump up to 3rd in the group, 14.834 for Bradley Fazard. He bumps Ryder LaPlante down to 4th. So Brady Bacon, a 14.407, then Austin Gossel, Bradley Fazard, Ryder LaPlante, and Whit Gastineau. The top 5 so far through qualifying. The next 3 cars pushing on to the raceway include the 95, Matt Covington, Glenpool, Oklahoma. Fisher Race Engine, Reese Construction Company, Missile Motorsports on board. For the driver with 18 national wins to his credit, the G5 on the track, Gunnar Setzer, Columbus, Indiana. Successful micro sprint driver trying to make his way now, 16 years old, into the sprint cars. Brady Bacon leads it. Matt Covington goes second quick, 14.584. And the other car on the raceway right now is the 48 of Danny Dietrich. And Dietrich goes fourth quick, 14.739 for Dietrich. So through the first 9 cars, Brady Bacon still holds the fastest time in the group. Covington is second, Dietrich is third, Gossel is fourth, Setzer is now fifth. 2 cars remain for this group. They include the 0 of Glenn Stiers out of Ohsweken, Ontario, and the 6G of Brian Gossel out of Windsor, Colorado. Brian Gossel was a competitor on the National Tour last season. Ran everything up until a hard crash at the Arrowhead Speedway in September. Sat out the rest of the year. He's ready to get back in the seat here tonight. His first race back for Brian Gossel. Gossel goes 6th quick, 14.707. Stiers is 7th quick, 14.832. So, Group 1 time is now complete. That is Brady Bacon. Fastest car to qualify in Group 1 of 14.407. Was a car caught, the engine caught fire back there at the scales. Driver is out, is okay, but I believe that's the G5 car of Gunnar Setzer. Yes, there it is. We're getting a look at it now. Let's go ahead and go down trackside to Connor Wade.
Yeah, as you confirmed, it is the G5 of Gunnar Setzer. I turned my head and saw a big cloud of smoke coming up from above the G5. Gunnar is fortunately out of the race car. All we really see on the race car right now is a lot of the foam from the fire extinguisher. Don't necessarily see any oil under the car, maybe a little bit of water dripping out of the radiator. But his dad, Jason, is going to get the hood of the race car off. Some of the safety officials from ASCS, Volusia, and the World of Outlaws are down here to try to help diagnose the issue and make sure there's not any further issues with this G5. But a tough start to the night for the driver making his debut on a half mile here this evening.
Thank you for that report down there. Getting a look, the hood's off of that race car. But not what you want when you roll up onto the scales and have the flames come out. But the safety crew got the fire extinguished and Gunnar got out of that race car. The Midwest Tube Mills, professional concrete cutting and drilling G5. So they'll have some work to do when they get that car back to the pit area. Get it kind of buttoned up to move it away from the scales, so we're cleared up for Group 2 to roll off. So Group 1, the fast time was Brady Bacon, 14.407. That'll put Brady Bacon starting 4th in the opening heat race. Everybody else will line heads up. Second fastest car will go start on the pole position of the opening heat race. In a nice evening here, Volusia. You can see the nice sunset. Group number 2 will start with those 3 cars on the front of the line. They're in the infield. Jordan Thomas, Cameron Martin, and John Renflack. As soon as they get the all clear, Group number 2. Firing up, John Renflack, Ewing, New Jersey. Well, he's just a multi-talented sprint car driver, races 305s, 360s, 410s. Best finish of third last year at the New Egypt Speedway in New Jersey. He's on the track. This is Group 2's qualifying. Cameron Martin's on the raceway at Ankeny, Iowa. Top 10 all 3 nights here at this event 1 year ago. He did pick up a win with the MSTS series at the Jackson Motorplex in Minnesota back in August. Brent Fleck turns a 14.811. Cameron Martin tops that with a 14.652. And the other car on the track is the 7 of Jordan Thomas. He goes to the top of the chart in the group 14.514. Jordan Thomas out of Harding, Pennsylvania. Finished second to the URC point standings 1 year ago. Still holds the fastest time in the group. So out of those 3 cars, Jordan Thomas, 14.514. Next set of cars starting to push. We'll do 3 more. It'll be Zach Blurton out of Quinter, Kansas. The Martin Racing, Summit Automotive Group, Randy Patterson Welding, Brian Young Farms, number 2J. 8th place in ASCS national point standings a year ago for Blurton. The 14 VW, Brett Wright, East Chatham, New York, Panther Chassis, J&D Waste Equipment, Wright Motorsports, Albany Transfer Station, number 14. He's joined on the track by the 16H, Hank Davis, Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Hank Davis driving a car for Brian Gossel here this weekend. Time's coming in now, slowly, and we've got Cameron Martin in this group second quick. Hank Davis fourth, Zach Burton fifth from their first lap times. So Hank Davis, third fastest, Cameron Martin second, Jordan Thomas still holding the fastest time in the group. Get him shut down. '77T. Tyler Howlis out of Oshwegan. The Aero Express, Route 54 Variety and Gas, Powless Brothers Racing race car. And the Babineau Septic Service, the big sponsor on the 77T. He's joined on the racetrack by the 34 of Sterling Kling. Sterling Kling out of Tempe, Arizona. DRC chassis, 2 top 5s at the National Tour a year ago. Kling will turn a lap 6th fastest. Paulus is 7th fastest here in group number 2. So the 11K was slated to be out there with them. Joshua Kutzbeck, he missed the call. So that's why we only had 2. Kutzbeck missed the call for his qualifying group. The last 2 cars for this group will include the Summerfield, Florida driver of John Crowder. He drives that orange number 25. And then the 36 will be Jason Martin, a native out of Liberal, Kansas. That's a Schneet chassis. Bobby Electric, BM Motorsports, Mel Hamilton Racing, Trucks Plus, and Superior Livestock Trailers on board our 2023 ASCS National Tour champ. Climbed back into the top 5 last year. Jason Martin on the clock. Took a minute to get the 25 of Crawford up to speed. Jason Martin, a 14.911, a 14.911. Gonna fly down to the inside of the 25. See what he can get on lap number 2. He jumps up a little bit, but still 7th quick in the group, 14.835. Jordan Thomas, quickest in the group, 14.514 for Jordan Thomas, so he's the fastest in group number 2. He'll start 4th in heat race number 2. Coming around to get his 2nd time lap on the clock was John Crawford. Obviously some problems on the number 25 machine. He'll pull it around into the infield. Group number 3 set to push. First car firing is the 6S Tyler Clem of St. Petersburg, Florida. Went to victory lane here, Volusia, 4 times in 2024. Those included wins with the Top Gun Sprints, the 360 Sprints, and the 604 late models. Clem out of St. Petersburg, Florida, the winner of this event back in 2023. 88C, Rogan Carter, Living Like Outlaws, Rosebud, Octane, and Bam Bam's Barbecue Service number 88, the Dakota Outlaw. A couple of caged kart wins back in early 2024, then made the move up to the sprint cars. All right, so they're going to bring Group 2 cars or Group 3 cars back in because of the issues with qualifying for the 36 of Jason Martin with the push truck on the track and the slower car of Crowder that he had to pass in qualifying. They're going to give him an extra lap here to get a clean look at the racetrack, since he didn't get a clean look at it in his scheduled qualifying slot. So Jason much better for Jason Martin. He jumps up to 4th. 14.554. That'll put him on the 2nd row of the heat race. All right, so the 3 cars that went on the track a moment ago, we'll get them back to the front of the line so they can be first up in qualifying. Qualifying order determined by the draw after the drivers' meeting. It just determines the order that you'll qualify in your group, then your time will set your lineup for your heat race against your group cars. But we've got to get those 3 cars back to the front of the line here, the 6, the 88, and the 2, I believe. Just to keep everything fair. Keep it in the order from the draw. Oh, push vehicle's getting in place. Push vehicle is behind all 3 cars now, so I believe we're about ready to send them out and begin Group 3 qualifying. We've talked about Clem, we've talked about Broken Carter. They're 2 of the 3 here in this first group. The 3rd car that will be on the racetrack here to start Group 3 qualifying will be the 2C Cole Macedo. Macedo comes from Lemoore, California. He's driving the 2C. right, so Cole Macedo does turn the fastest lap here, starting out 14.391. Clem is second, 14.786. Brogan Carter is 16.051. That 14.391 for Cole Macedo, not only fastest in this group, but fastest overall so far for Macedo. He overtakes Brady Bacon, who had the fastest time of a 14.407. It's now Cole Macedo, 14.391 here in the third group. 26. On the racetrack, that's Justin Peck from Monrovia, Indiana. Routine Racing and Skagit Speedway race car. See him come around. On the clock, 13P. That's going to be Dason Persley out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The Pella Windows and Doors, Avanti Windows and Doors, Big Spring Car Wash entry for the 2024 USAC National Midget Champ. And the other car on the group is Davey Franick out of Sussex, New Jersey. Two-time Patriot Sprint Tour champ. Justin Peck goes to the top. Quick time for the 26, 14.371. Now a 14.360 for Justin Peck. Persley is second quick with the 14.366. Franick is fourth with the 14.675. So Justin Peck, 14.360. Persley of 14.366. They bump Macedo down to third, who has a 14.391. 14.360 for Justin Peck, fastest overall so far. On the raceway now, the 88M, Austin McCarl, Altoona, Iowa, Country Builders Construction, Tucker Trucking. Ocha West, Ophel Family Farms, Bozeman Family Farms, 88M. The 16 car, Kevin Newton, Terre Haute, Indiana is on the raceway as well. McCarl fifth quick right now, 14.771. Newton had a 7.85. McCarl jumps to fourth, the 14.401. Newton jumps to fifth, the 14.607. Big jump for McCarl to get onto the first two rows with the fourth quickest time there, 14.401. Three cars, well, maybe just two still to go. We missed a car in qualifying here. Elijah Guile, the 13 out of Phoenix, Arizona. Maxim Chassis, it's a Racecraft. Hitchman Racing Uniforms, SBS Factory Cane for Elijah Guile, the teenager out of Arizona. And he's joined by Cheyenne Potter, the 44C from Lake Helen, Florida. So is Brandon Grubaugh, who missed his allotment with the last couple of cars. Cheyenne Potter, ninth quick right now. And Elijah Guile was seventh on his first lap. He'll jump to sixth. The slight improvement on lap two for Elijah Guile, 14.660. Cheyenne Potter will stay ninth with a 15.977. So Justin Peck, fastest in Group 3. He's also overall fastest so far. (27M). Austin Martin pushing onto the raceway from Sarasota, Florida. Joined by two other race cars here. We've got the 63 from Birchtown, Pennsylvania. That's Josh Weller, the Dr. Diesel, AssuredAutomation.com. It's a three-time winner up in the Northeast last year. And also on the track, the 24 of Danny Martin Jr. from Sarasota, Florida. Austin Martin, a 15.158. Weller, a 14.8. And Danny Martin, a 14.7. So each car that came by had a little faster time than the previous car. Danny Martin, the fastest of these three on their opening lap. We'll see if he can hold here when they come on lap number 2. Danny Martin Jr. still fastest out of those three, a 14.707 for Danny Martin in the 24. He's out of Sarasota, Florida. The Shaw Racing Pipe Restoration Solutions, Joe's Signs, and Berryman Shocks, number 24. The 12S, Aiden Schmidt from Sarasota, Hobstadt, Indiana. Westside Auto, Engler Machine and Tool, A&N Transport, Spec Race Engines on the number 12S of Aiden Schmidt. Pushes on to the Speedway. 51T, Scotty Thiel out of Wisconsin. The Home Pro Roofing for Professional Plating and Hefner Race Products 51T. And then Jacob Allen on the clock as well now in the 1A from Hanover, Pennsylvania. The RF Knox Bells Tire Service Auto Barn 1A. Weller second quick, 14.825. Scotty Thiel, top of this group with the 14.500. Jacob Allen with the 14.619. 619 for Allen, second in the group. Cars coming around for their second lap on the clock. Even faster for Thiel, 14.467. The 467 for Scotty Thiel. That'll put him top of the group. Jacob Allen is second, Danny Martin Jr. is third, Weller is fourth, and Austin Martin is fifth. The 97 UK. '97 UK, Ryan Harrison out of England. Comes to the States about 4 times a year, he said. He's on the track with the 52 of Blake Hahn, a 2-time ASCS national champ. Harrison turns a lap of 14.909. Let's see what Hahn's got when he comes off of 4. His first lap on the clock in Florida. Second in the group, 14.493 for Blake Hahn. Brian Harrison will be 6th quick with a couple cars still to go in the group. Blake Hahn will keep his first lap time. He'll be 2nd in the group so far. So Scotty Thiel holds the top spot in the group with the 14.467. Final 2 cars hit the Speedway. 61, William Hull out of Waynefield, Vermont. And the 4P of Chase Moran out of Fultonville, New York. Final 2 cars in Group 4. Taking a look at the 4P, the New York driver, FX Caprara, Allen Daughter Trucking, Gulsha and Sons LLC. The 4P of Moran, 6th quick. William Hull, 8th quick with his number 61 entry. On their opening lap on the clock, Moran jumps to 4th. That'll bump Danny Martin Jr. to 5th in group number 4. So Scotty Thiel fastest in the group. Let's send it down trackside, Connor Wade.
You know, one thing I touched on earlier was how the guys that have ran the 360 shows here at Volusia the last 2 years might be a little bit more favored coming into this weekend than the ASCS regulars. But one of the ASCS regulars that has always done good at Volusia, this man right here, Sam Hafer-Teep Jr., on the podium here multiple times in his career with the All-Stars and the World of Outlaws. Last year, the 360 weekend finishes a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Those nights he was 2nd and 3rd, Sam felt like he had a good enough race car to win the race. He left Volusia wanting more and has an opportunity for more success in the 15H. By the way, trying to become the first 6-time ASCS champion this year.
And we'll have to watch him once he qualifies because he set quick time 12 times for us 1 season ago. Cars on the clock now include the 27 of Emerson Axum, Franklin, Indiana, Klossmeyer, Petrie Motorsports, the WCO. We've got a yellow on the racetrack. We'll slow him down. Not sure why just yet, but we'll slow them down. So there's a look at Emerson Axum's race car. So a scoring glitch, so they just stop him, slow him down. Here we go, we'll go green. All 3 cars on the track. Axum is joined by the 88J, Joey Amantia out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. The Big Show in the 88, and then the 21, Brian Brown, Green Valley, Missouri. 2-time Knoxville 360 national champ. Emerson Axum, quick time for the 27A, a 14.165. Brian Brown turns a lap of 14.231. Emerson Axum nearly with the track record. Let's see what he can do on lap 2. No. The track record is a 14.160. Emerson Axum turned a 14.165. Whoa, he was right there. Brian Brown turned a 14.231 and Amantia a 14.810. So close to that record for Emerson Axum. A few drivers still to go. About 7 roughly to get a time here on the clock. 45X, Kyler Johnson, Quinter, Kansas. Double Diamond Farms, Kuntz Manure spreading for Kyler Johnson. Joined on the track by the 5H of Robbie Price out of Cobble Hill, British Columbia. Kyler Johnson a 14.924. And the 96S on the racetrack is Brandon Sampson out of Mesa, Arizona. Kyler Johnson much better on lap 2, jumps to 3rd quick, 14.743. Robbie Price is 5th quick. Sampson 6th quick through the first 6 cars in the final qualifying group. So looking at that 96 car, Brandon Sampson, the Engler Machine and Tool, CSI Suspension, Callahan Auto and Diesel 96. Pace around an extra lap, you missed the entrance into the infield. So coming onto the racetrack now, the 15H of Sam Hafer-Teep Jr. And we'll start with the 44. That'll be Chris Martin out of Ankeny, Iowa. C&D Elevator Construction. Of course, Martin picked up a win last October with the American Sprint Car Series Hurricane Super Sprints down at the Deep South Speedway in Alabama. 71, Brady Baker, Alexander, Arkansas, the Mid-State Golf Cart, Total Tire and Automotive, CSI Suspension. Number 71. Picked up a feature win a year ago with the USCS Sprint Cars. Chris Martin, 3rd in the group, 14.590. Brady Baker, 7th in the group with a 15.073. Chris Martin, a little better, but he'll still stay 3rd in the Group 5. Brady Baker keeps his first lap time. He's 7th so far. 2 cars to go. Now we'll see that 15H of Sam Hafer-Teep Jr., Sunnyvale, Texas. Town Line Variety, Gas and Grocery. The Prime Powder Incorporated, High Performance Lubricants, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, and ShopSam15.com, number 15H. For the 5-time ASCS National Champion. 3rd on the all-time wins list with 78 national wins. 1 more moves him into a tie for 2nd on the all-time wins list with the late Jason Johnson. The other car on the racetrack right now to look for times, Danny Sams in 3rd, Northport, Florida. It's a Sonic chassis for the one-way technology, Engler Machine and Tool, CSI Shocks, number 20D. 6 feature wins a year ago for Danny Sams. Hafer-Teep turned a time of 14.565. That puts him 4th quick. Danny Sams 7th, the 14.869. Here's Sam. Lap number 2 is better. He jumps to 3rd, 14.381. So Emerson Axum has the quickest time overall. Quickest time in the group and quickest time overall here at Volusia Speedway Park on night one of the Federated Auto Park DIRTcar Nationals. Let's go down to Connor.
Well, the 27 is ripping in 2025, just like it was in all of 2024. Emerson, I brought my phone over and showed it to you, and you weren't really interested in the lap that was quick time. You wanted to see how the other lap was, so overall, were you happy with that run?
Yeah, I felt really good, but my second lap, I kind of got over the I guess, dust line on the backstretch, and I kind of wanted to just see how much it slowed me down there. But yeah, I'm just really happy to see all the work we put in the off season translate our first race out. Obviously, there's a full night to go, but you know, it feels good to come out on the right foot. And Adam, my dad, Scott Petrie, Dale Klasmeyer have been working really hard. So yeah, I'm just happy to see all of us have success as a group and get off on the right foot. You know, but there's a lot of racing left in 2025, obviously, but it feels good to just come out on the right foot.
Emerson Axum close to the track record already to start the weekend in the 27 overall quick time. And Randy, one thing that's interesting, normally when a driver sets quick time, they go out in the first heat race of the night, at least with the World of Outlaws sprint cars like Emerson's used to. However, with group qualifying with your heat race with ASCS, he's going to get to watch the first 4 heats and then go out on the very last one of the night.
Yeah, qualifying in Group 5, he'll be in Heat Race 5. So that's Emerson Axum's 27. Get a look at that car as they get ready to push all those sprint cars out of the infield, across the racetrack to the outside pits. They'll start making tweaks on their cars, get them set up for tonight's Heat Race action. Of course, that'll come up a little bit later. The UMP DIRTcar Modifieds starting to make their way onto the racetrack as well. Some of those are already in the infield and coming across the raceway in turn 4. To talk about the modifieds, let's bring in Chris Stappen. Chris, you've got a few more modifieds than we do sprint cars tonight, and they are some stout race cars.
Yeah, should be outstanding. We've got 62 at last count here for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Same program to start the program. We will hot lap all these guys. They'll come back. They will qualify. A little bit different qualifying format. We'll go A-B group qualifying. So the first 32 drivers will qualify amongst themselves. They will make up heats 1, 2, and 3, and then the drivers 33 on back will make up groups 4, 5, and 6 come heat race action a little bit later on tonight. Every lap matters tonight and tomorrow night. They will hot lap, they'll qualify, they'll heat race, the last chance showdown, and then they will have a 24-car feature tonight. 1 feature tonight. Same program tomorrow, 1 feature tomorrow night. And then the heat races on Saturday night will be lined up by combined points from tonight and tomorrow. So it is important that you do as well as you can on both tonight and tomorrow night to have a good starting spot in those heat races come Saturday night. And as we've been talking about, Connor mentioned it in the open, 9 nights for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds here at the 54th Annual Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals this year. These first 3 nights count for the overall Speed Weeks Championship, but they do not count for next week's Gator Championship. So it's important to do what you can. It is not chasing a Gator yet tonight, the big Gator anyway, but it is important to get as many points as you can if you want to win that overall Speed Weeks Championship. And speaking of that, the driver that'll technically come into tonight as the overall Speed Weeks point leader is Brad DeYoung out of Wheatfield, Indiana. He is officially second, but Devin Dixon, who leads the points after Ocala last week, not with us tonight. So Devin Dixon technically is the point leader coming into tonight, not in the field. So Brad DeYoung will overhaul him and take over the point lead going into the program tonight. Kyle Strickler second, Jason Garver, Todd Nieiser, and Cole Charneski, the top 5 in the overall Speed Weeks points as they roll into the DIRTcar Nationals. All the cars rolling their way from the outside pit area. You see if you're watching them down the back straightaway, they're rolling down that rim road. They will enter and exit the speedway in turn number 4. Drivers will hot lap here. As we said, we've got 62 cars, 61 at draw cutoff time. We added 1 late arrival tonight, so 62 competitors will take the green in hot laps, qualifying heat races a little bit later on here out throughout the program, and heavy hitters, no doubt. Looks like we've got a majority of the field, a few more stragglers making their way down that rim road, trying to get their way onto the infield here. Want to make sure we've got everybody in Group A at least. Coming into tonight, everybody knows Nick Hoffman, the all-time DIRTcar UMP Modified winner here at the DIRTcar Nationals. Of course, Nick, the car owner and crew chief for Kenny Wallace for the second year in a row here at the DIRTcar Nationals. Nick will be in action in his late model with the DIRTcar UMP and the World of Outlaws late models next week. But Nick in the pit area turning the wrenches on the new look 36 car, by the way. Kenny Wallace with the Sunoco colors on the doors of the 36 car here for the DIRTcar Nationals. Kyle Strickler second in the all-time win list. Of course, he was the overall Big Gator champion a year ago. Picked up the championship night, did Kyle Strickler 1 year ago. He's got 14 career wins to Nick Hoffman's 21. And then the driver that won the Gator Championship points a year ago, Tyler Nicely. Third in the overall all-time win list here. Tyler also crew chiefing this weekend. He is not here. He had knee surgery on his right knee about 6 weeks ago. So he is crew chiefing for fellow Owensboro, Kentucky racer Cole Falloway here during Speed Weeks. He was his crew chief at Ocala last week. Talked to Tyler for a while this afternoon in the pit area. He's got a little more mobility in that right knee now. He's getting ready to go racing here in 2025 in a super late model for Tyler Nicely. I don't know. I hadn't heard that until today. I don't know if that's breaking news or not, but Tyler is going to run a late model, a bunch of events throughout the Midwest here in 2025. And then it's the Dillon brothers. Austin Dillon, 10 career wins. Ty Dillon, 9 career wins. That's the top 5 in the overall DIRTcar Nationals modified win list coming into tonight. And even though these 3 nights do not count for the Big Gator next week, they do count for overall wins, DIRTcar Nationals wins, all that stuff. Couple more competitors making their way out the gate. Looks like they've shut the turn 4 gate, so we can hot lap. Here are the drivers you're going to see on the racetrack. First driver out, he will roll off the infield, the 11D car. That's Brian Dively. Dively's out of Springfield, Illinois in that Dively Motorsports checkered flag graphics 11D car. Right behind him will be Dave Weedholder. Weedholder's out of Liberty, Illinois in that statewide solar A1 Performance Warehouse 05. There is a Weedholder, middle of the back straightaway. Right behind him, see he goes rolling down the back straightaway 32. That's Chad Roush. Roush out of Reidsville, Ohio in that Samtastic Designs Tight Touareg Racing at 32. Ryan Fowler right behind him. Fowler out of Pace, Florida. He's in that Moobag Shock Service RMF Motorsports number 6. Right behind him is the 8 car. That will be Dave Pinkerton. Pinkerton out of Waverly, Ohio, and that's State Farm Insurance Advanced Services number 8. Right behind him, another Floridian. It's Todd Nieheiser. Nieheiser out of Panama City, Florida. He, of course, in that Discount Towing Elite number 72. Also on the racetrack, the 12 car. That is Paris, Tennessee's Lucas Lee. Lee, of course, on the tank lining of Paris Weir's Machine Wiles drive shaft number 12. So he works his way through 3 and 4. And right behind him should be the M20 car. That is Mike Petoskey. Petoskey's out of Guys Mills, Pennsylvania, sitting in that Amp Electric number M20, straight through the middle of turns 3 and 4. Other cars on the racetrack, you've got the 27 car, Jason Garver. He's rolling under the flag stand right now. He's out of Stark, Florida. He's in that CarQuest Auto Parts. Hershey's at Truck in 27. Also on the racetrack, K9 car, that's Will Krupp. Krupp out of Mount Carmel, Illinois, the Willys Carbon Dyno Service, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop, number K9. See who else we missed. I think we might have got them all. Nope, we've got the 11K car. That's Evan Kohler. Kohler on the racetrack as well. Kohler running underneath flag stand right now. He's out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, the Ultimate Motorsports Park. Kohler Motorsports 11K. That'll be everybody on the Speedway here. Hot lap session number 1 for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Hot lap session number 1 to the quick checkered flag. Everybody rolling off. Turn number 4, checkered flag is out. Not a real big surprise. Jason Garber gets around this place pretty good. He's your fastest driver in hot lap session number 1, 18010. 18010 for Jason Garver. Driver out of Stark, Florida. He's got a 604 and a 602 and a street stock and a mod and everything else. Does not have a 3/4 modified though, Bob. He does have a Crown Vic. He does have a Crown Vic. Yes, he does. Garver, he don't care. He'll race whatever he can race. Next driver onto the racetrack, that's Kurt Spalding. You will see in a 5-car. It's at a Waterfleet, Michigan in that All-Star Performance. Schoenfeld headers at number 5. He'll roll down the back straight away. Right behind him will be the 17C car. That'll be Coleman Evans. Coleman's out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia. That Evans Construction Fox Shocks. 17C. Also on the back straight away, you'll find the 1 car. That's one of the University of Northwestern Ohio rides. They've got 3 cars in attendance this weekend. That's Randy Giroux. Randy's out of Fort Erie, Ontario, Canada, sitting in that UNOH Lucas Oil number 1. Another Canadian right behind him, Curtis King. King out of Wooler, Ontario, Canada. Motorsports Trenton Auto Parts Centers 07. Other cars on the racetrack, 43A car, that'll be Mark Anderson. Mark's out of Lowell, Michigan. He's in that Flat River Electric. Accurate Engines 43A. Jacob Poole, crew chiefing for Mark Anderson here at the DIRTcar Nationals. Other cars on the racetrack, 25, that's Greg Bellia. Greg's out of Sterling, Ontario, Canada. That excess storage, Victory Race Engines, Lethal 25. Other cars rolling down the front straight away. That is the 321 car. Looks like a 3 car. It's got a little 21 duct taped on it. That is multi-time DIRTcar National Champion Denny Schwartz. Schwartz out of Ashmore, Illinois in that Fuqua Trucking. Mindco Logistics 321. Also down the back straight away, the 45 car. That's Silver 45. That is Success Mississippi's Chase Holland. Holland in that industrial dock and door. Burwell Motorsports and Weir's Machine 45. Right behind him, the 19 car, that is Dustin Sorensen, driver out of Rochester, Minnesota. He sits in that heavy hitch Crenshaw Racing and Action Engineering 19. Also on the racetrack, 27 cars, Michael Turner. Turner out of Paris, Tennessee, and the Turner's Landscaping, Lucas Lee Motorsports, number 27. That's everybody on the racetrack here in Hot Lap Session and number 2. Checkered flag will wave. Hot lap session number 2 for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Kurt Spalding, quickest in hot lap session number 2 and quickest overall, 17.324. 17324 for the Michigan racer. Working down the back straight away. It's only about 3/10 off the current track record here at Volusia. Track record will obviously not be broken in hot laps, but it's good to note 17.031 the current Volusia Speedway Park track record. Kurt Spalding about 0.3 of a second off of that. Next driver rolling onto the racetrack, 77 car, that's George Dixon. George out of Shirleysburg, Pennsylvania, in that LaSalle Racing Engines base race fuel 77 cars. He works his way down the back straight away. Right behind him, the 35 car. Normally, the last couple of years, you've seen Carter Miller behind the wheel of that race car. It's Michael Altabelli for 2025. Saxon, Pennsylvania racer Altabelli in that Mahindra Tractors Dan's Auto Body 35. That is going to be a car to watch here in 2025. You put Michael Altabelli in that race car. We'll see what he does here this weekend and throughout the year. Next driver onto the racetrack, that's Zane Odewald. Zane's out of Eustis, Florida, and that Zane's out of service. Mullins Race Engines 11Zs. He works his way through turns 3 and 4. Tyler Evans right behind him. Tyler in the 17Ts out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia. That Evans Construction Fox Shocks 17T off of turn number 4. We mentioned the 36 car earlier, and there it is. First time you see it on the racetrack, the Sunoco Racefields colors for St. Louis, Missouri's Kenny Wallace behind the wheel of that Priority Aviation Low Voltage Solutions, and of course, Go Sunoco number 36. Also on the racetrack, 51 car. He'll work his way down the front straight away. Regular competitor here at the Volusia Speedway Park. It's Bunnell, Florida's Dalton Lanik. Dalton Lanik in that East Coast Aluminum Limitless Repair 151 car here as he works his way down the front straightaway. Other cars you see on the Speedway. See who else we get rolling onto the racing surface here. Working on, there's the 155 car. We see him off turn number 4, the 155. That's Gavin Shaw. Gavin out of Brownsdale, Minnesota. And out of Rochester overhead doors. CBR Drilling and Freddy's Detailing 155. It's a Longhorn race car for Gavin Shaw. Also on the Speedway, the 77 car here at the flag stand. That's Jason Cox. Jason out of Clinton, Indiana, in that Mind Co. Jason Cox Trucking Carmichael Race Bodies 77C. Couple more cars on the racetrack here. The 114 car, that will be Jordan Kohler. His brother Evan on the racetrack earlier. This is Mount Airy, North Carolina's Jordan Kohler. He's in that Capital Waste Ultimate Towing and Recovery 114. Right behind him, the current Speedweek's point leader, Brad DeYoung. Brad's out of Wheatfield, Indiana, in that P&G Power Extreme Style Signs and Graphics Diamond race car number 7 for Brad DeYoung. And the 77 car, final driver out there, the yellow one, that's Ray Bollinger. Ray Bollinger out of Kewanee, Illinois, sitting in that Nutrient Ag Solution. Court Farms Vanquish Race Cars 77. That's everybody on the racetrack here. Hot lap session number 2. Actually number 3 now for hot laps. Checkered flag coming out, hot lap session number 3. Everybody going to roll their way back to the infield. One thing you'll notice, once the hot lap sessions are done, all the modifieds are required, just like the sprint cars, are going to roll back to the infield, and they will stage for qualifying. Qualifying will be coming up next. Next group of drivers set to roll onto the racetrack, 463 car, that's Daniel Sanchez. Daniel's out of Averill Park, New York. He's in that 5-star race car bodies. Danny Sanchez contracting 463 car down the back straight away. All right, behind him, you'll find the 31 car. That is the 31G of Stephen Padula. Stephen out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. Padula Materials and Landscape Supply Elite race car 31G for Stephen Padula. Also on the back straight away, the 01 car. That's another one of the UNOH cars. That's Braden Weller. Braden out of Palmer, Nebraska, behind the wheel of the UNOH SNS Volvo Lucas Oil Products 01 car. Rob Fuqua on the racetrack as well. Fuqua in the 3F car. He's out of Paris, Illinois. Sitting in that Rob Fuqua Trucking, Jason Cox Trucking, Mineco Logistics 3F car. He'll work his way down the front straight away. Other cars on the racetrack, 5 car, middle of 3 and 4. That's Mineral Wells, West Virginia's Bobby Bagley. Bagley in that Parkersburg Plumbing Supply Serve Pro. Auto Advantage number 5. So he'll work through turns 3 and 4 for Bobby Bagley. Right behind him, you'll find the 3rd UNOH car in the field tonight. That is Loveland, Ohio's Aiden Hins. Aiden Hins here underneath the flag stand, the UNOH All-Star Performance Profiler Headers number 11. Also on the front straightaway, the 35 car, that is Mifflintown, Pennsylvania's David Stremme. Stremme, of course, in the lethal Weir's Machine Willys Carbon Dyno number 35. Also on the front straightaway, the 91 car, that'll be Chris Bolio. Bolio out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. He sits in that Coast Island Marine lethal number 91. Mitch Thomas on the racetrack as well. Mitch, of course, out of Oakland, Maryland. Sitting in that New England Truss and Hoist, the welding rod, Valvoline 97. Charlie Sandercock's out there as well. Sandercock out of Trenton, Ontario, Canada. In that Rapid Rat Service, Central Ontario Spray Foam 57. And Gene Nicholas on the racetrack as well. Gene out of Lowell, Arkansas. He's in that Gene Nicholas LLC, Penske Shocks Midwest Rapco, number 11. So hot lap session 4 of 6 for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds rolling around the racetrack. Checkered flag coming out here. Hot lap session into the books. David Stremme. 17.774. 177.774 for David Stremme, fastest in that hot lap group in the 35 as the next group rolls onto the racetrack. First driver out will be Trevor Neville. Neville, of course, the Gateway Dirt Nationals champion back in December. He won his first ever Gator here a year ago this week. It's out of Mackinac, Illinois, in that J. Neville Transfer Multi-Fire X spark plug wire sponsored 777. Right behind him will be Cole Charneski, young driver out of Denmark, Wisconsin. He's sitting in that Pro Property Service, Bomb Cullen Racing, number 21CZ. Other cars on the racetrack, you will find the 21 car of Scott Ladner on the racetrack. Ladner out of Lumberton, Mississippi, the CB Developers, Southern Pipe and Supply, and Ladner Engineering 21 cars. He rolls down the back straight away. Right behind him, there's the 8 car. That's Kyle Strickler. Strickler out of Mooresville, North Carolina, sitting in the G-Style Transport. Donaldson Grading and Cat Industries, number 8. Working off of turn number 4 for Kyle Strickler. 66 car right behind him, that's Cole Falloway. Falloway out of Owensboro, Kentucky. In that Kelly Trucking, Falloway's Auto Sales, and the Rolling Pin 66. Also on the racetrack, 45 car. That is going to be Kyle Hammer. Hammer out of Clinton, Illinois. Sitting in that Troy Page Excavating, Shepherd Salvage, and Precision Recovery 45. Working his way off of turn number 4 is Kyle Hammer. Driver right behind him will be the 15 car. That's Justin Stone. Stone out of Middlebury, Vermont. In that G-Stone Motorsports, Gardner's Trading Post, Lethal. Number 15 car for Justin Stone. Also on the racetrack, the 0 car. That's Glenn Stiers. He'll run in both divisions tonight. He's out of Ohsweken, Ontario, Canada, in that Glenn Stiers Racing, G-Force TV, and Ohsweken Speedway, number 0. Also on the racetrack, you'll find the 16 car. That's Sean Deering. Deering out of Quincy, Illinois. He's in that Whiskey Biz, Home Bank, and Woodsmoke Meat 16. A couple other drivers on the racetrack. 56 car, that will be Colton Profit. Profit out of Crossville, Tennessee, in Extreme Pressure Washing. Roland Digital Media, 56 cars. He works into turn number 1. Jonathan Taylor on the racetrack as well. Jonathan out of Salzburg, Pennsylvania. He's in the Taylor Services, Guardian Fleet Services, number 5. I think we got them all. That's everybody on the racetrack for Hot Lap Session number 5. Checkered flag out in that one. Kurt Spalding still your overall fastest in hot laps tonight. Spalding, Neville, Stremme. Kyle Hammer, quickest in that group. 4th quick, 17.947 for Kyle Hammer. Trevor Neville actually fastest in that hot lap group with a 17.617. So Neville, new look for the 777 here for Speed Weeks. The Multi-Fire X logo is on both of the doors of that 777. All right, next group rolling out. The 21 cars, their team cars back there. This one's Scott Ladner on the racetrack. He in that 21 car. Scott out of Lumberton, Mississippi. His teammate Hunter Breland out there in the last group, but Ladner out there in that Ladner Engineering Design Precast 21 cars. He works down the back straight away. The 7 car, that'll be Evan Taylor. Evan out of Salzburg, Pennsylvania. And that Taylor Services Willys Carb 7 car. Also on the racetrack, the 99 car. That's Wade Olmstead. Olmstead, young driver out of Orange City, Florida. That Geno Sewer and Drain Cleaning Action Graphics 99. Also on the racetrack, the 18 car. That will be Miles Bolio. Miles out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. He's in that Coast Island Marine Lethal, number 18. Final couple drivers making their way down the front straightaway here. The 24 car, new look for Claypool, Indiana, Zeke McKenzie. McKenzie in that Toro Superior Sales and Service, Integra Shocks 24. And the final driver on the racetrack in this group is Ethan Boomsma. Boomsma's out of Wheatfield, Indiana, the Always Underground Incorporated KB Electric, a Longhorn race car for Ethan Boomsma. Checkered flag coming out, final hot lap session into the record books. Kurt Spalding, 17.324, 17324, the fastest in hot laps here tonight. So the drivers all making their way onto the infield. We will get them scattered around where they need to be, and then we will be ready to roll them out for qualifying. As we said, we'll have a Group A and Group B. A couple late additions to the field. We mentioned Wade Olmstead, a late addition in that 99 car. Chris Wilson rolling in late today as well, driver out of Crossville, Tennessee. Saw him hot lap a moment ago. He will come rolling on out here when his time is. Checking to see who else may be rolling in a little bit late here. Looks like we're up to about 64 now. So a couple late qualifiers making it in. They'll get an opportunity to qualify once we are ready to go. So qualifying for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds will work this way. 4 cars at a time, 2 laps at a time. 4 cars, green, white, checkered. Of course, fastest lap will be their lap of record. That'll line up one of the heat races a little bit later on here tonight. Drivers drew pills when they got in the gate today to determine their qualifying order. Evan Kohler drew the 1 pill. He'll be the first driver to come rolling on out. Just working on getting everybody into the lineup area down on the infield. Make sure we are ready to go when qualifying begins here in a moment. Of course, the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds have been in action a couple of nights already here in 2025. 3 nights at the Ocala Speedway, Ocala, Florida. Jason Garver, Kyle Strickler, and Devin Dixon, the winners at Ocala. Devin Dixon does have a DIRTcar UMP win down in Hendry County in Clewiston a couple of weeks ago as well. Those are the only DIRTcar events that have been held so far in 2025. As we mentioned, Devin Dixon, the point leader coming in tonight, although he is not on the property, so that will change once the racing program concludes. Brad DeYoung, Kyle Strickler, Jason Garver, and Todd Nieheiser all in the pit area. They are 2nd through 5th, respectively, in the points. All right, everybody getting turned around the way they need to be. All right, the green lights have blinked on. We are ready to go. First driver you will see roll onto the racetrack is Paris, Tennessee's Lucas Lee. Lee, of course, in that tank lining of Paris. Turner's Landscaping, number 12. He'll roll down the back straightaway. Right behind him will be Brian Dively. Dively out of Springfield, Illinois. Sitting in that checkered flag graphics, Dively Motorsports 11. Will Krupp making his way onto the racetrack as well. Krupp out of Mount Carmel, Illinois. Krupp in that Willys Carbon Dyno Service, Ted Brown's Quality Paint Body Shop K9, and there's the 11 of Evan Kohler. Kohler making his way out as well, the Mount Airy, North Carolina racer, and the Ultimate Towing and Recovery Capital Waste, number 11. Here we go. Lucas Lee's going to roll by, 18.351. Dively, 18.864. Will Krupp's going to make his way down the front straight away. Krupp going to go faster, 18.075, 1.8075. Here comes Kohler by, 18.918. Lucas Lee faster on lap number 2, 18.326. K9 of Will Krupp's going to call it quits. One lap for Krupp. It's all he needed. Fastest so far. 18.075. 1.8075 for Mount Carmel, Illinois' Will Krupp. Going to roll his way onto the infield. Everybody else going to make their way around. Kohler officially 26.453. Came out a little bit late and was kind of blocked in there, so he'll get one more lap here. Will Evan Kohler. So, waiting to see Evan Kohler's going to take that extra lap or not. Brian Dively's on the racetrack in the 11. All right, Brian Dively's second lap coming at you right now, the Springfield, Illinois racer. Checkered flag coming up here. Brian Dively, does he improve? 18.864 the first lap. No, 19.092. So he'll stand on lap number 1. Will Brian Dively in the 11. Right now it's Will Krupp, 18.075 the time to beat here in Group A. Next 4 cars should be ready to roll out onto the racing surface here in just a moment. Chad Roush will be the first driver out. He's out of Reedsville, Ohio, in that Samtastic Design Titorag Racing number 32. Right behind him will be Stark Florida's Jason Garver. Garver in that CarQuest Auto Parts, D&D Dirton and Mac Industries 27 cars. He'll get up to speed off of turn number 2. Also on the racing service will be the 8 car. It'll be Dave Pinkerton. Pinkerton out of Waverly, Ohio. He's in that State Farm Insurance Advanced Services and CoughlinCars.com. Number 8, the final driver on the racetrack will be the 6 car of Ryan Fowler. Fowler out of Pace, Florida, in that Mobag Shock Service, RMF Motorsports. Number 6. White flag in the air, Chad Roush, third quick, 18.539. Jason Garver, second quick, 18.246. Dave Pinkerton, fourth, 18.387. And Ryan Fowler, sixth quick, 18.661. Down the front straightaway, second lap for Chad Roush, not as good. Jason Garver, quick time, 17.943, 1:17.943. Fastest lap of the night so far for Jason Garver. Dave Pinkerton faster on lap number 2 as well, 1:8.182, and Ryan Fowler went quicker as well, 18.338, 1:8.338. we go. Now we've got Evan Kohler back onto the racing surface in that 114, technically 11K cars, what it looks like on the back straightaway. See, Kohler was due one more lap. First time he came by was an 18.918, 18918. He'll come to the checkered, and it will be faster, 18.435. 18435 for Evan Kohler. So Kohler will make his way back onto the infield. He will head off to the scales as we get the next group ready to come out onto the racing surface. Looks like Coleman Evans may be the next driver out. Just like that, Coleman Evans will make his way onto the racing surface. Driver out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia. That Evans Construction Frames, etc. 17C as he works his way down the back straightaway. Right behind him will be Dalton Lanik. Lanik out of Bunnell, Florida. Sitting, of course, in that Limitless Repair, American Overhead Door Company 51. Also on the racetracks, Curtis King, driver out of Wooler, Ontario, Canada. He sits in that Motorsports of Trenton. Auto Parts Centers and Veranda Luxury Pontoons, number 07. And the final driver in this group, another Canadian, it's Chris Bolio. Chris out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada, and that lethal race car, Coast Island Marine, number 91. Coleman Evans, good first lap, second quick, 17.984, 17984. Dalton Lanik will go third quick, 18.061. Curtis King, 11th quick, 19.182, and Chris Bolio, 6th, 18.309. Coleman Evans trying to go to the top of the speed charts, and he will. Coleman Evans, 17.915. Dalton Lanik goes faster. Lanik, 17.890, 17890 for Dalton Lanik. Chris Bolio faster on lap number 2 as well, 18.082, but you've got a new driver at the top of the speed charts. It's Dalton Lanik. How about the driver from, 10 miles down the road in Bunnell, Florida? 17.890, quickest here so far in Group A. Next group set to roll. It will be Mark Anderson. Anderson out of Lowell, Michigan. He's in that Flat River Electric, Accurate Engines, Nap Auto Parts 43A. Also on the racetrack will be the 25 car of Greg Bellia. Greg's out of Sterling, Ontario, Canada, the excess storage. Victory Race Engines number 25. Kurt Spalding on the racetrack as well. Kurt's out of Watervliet, Michigan. He sits in that All-Star Performance Schoenfeld Headers, Duco Performance number 5. And Chase Holland on the racetrack as well. Chase out of Success, Mississippi. He's in that Industrial Dock and Door, Burwell Motorsports, and Weir's Machine and Racing Products 45. So next group are rolling down the front straightaway. Mark Anderson will be the first driver by 13th quick, 19.158. 19158, Greg Bellia, 9th quick, 18.434, 18434. Comes Kurt Spalding, quick time, 17.629, 17629. Fastest on the night so far for Spalding. Chase Holland will go 10th quick, 18.369. Here comes lap number 2. Faster for Mark Anderson, 19.073. Faster for Greg Bellia, 18.273. Faster for Kurt Spalding, 17.378. And also faster for Chase Holland. Holland with an 18.325. So Kurt Spalding now quickest driver here in Group A. Spalding was fastest in hot laps earlier tonight. Fastest in Group A right now with a 17.378. Next 4 drivers set to roll onto the front straightaway. First driver out will be Dustin Sorensen. Sorensen out of Rochester, Minnesota, the heavy hitch, Craig Shaw Racing and Action Engineering 19 car. He'll work down the back straightaway. That 19 car was really good here a year ago. He'll work down the back straightaway in the 19. Right behind him will be Michael Turner. Turner out of Paris, Tennessee. The Turner's Landscaping 45 race shop, Lucas Lee Motorsports number 27. Also on the racetrack will be the 1 car, that's Randy Giroux. Randy out of Fort Erie, Ontario, Canada. He sits in that UNOH Lucas Oil Products Tub of Towels number 1. And the 321 car on the racetrack as well, that is Denny Schwartz. Schwartz out of Ashmore, Illinois, the Schwartz Trucking, Fuquay Trucking. Mind Kill Logistics 321. Sorensen will come by 5th quick, Michael Turner 2nd quick. Giroux will roll by 11th quick in the 11th. And Denny Schwartz will be 20th on lap number 1. See if anybody can go faster here. Lap number 2 for Dustin Sorensen. Sorensen does not improve. He'll stay 6th. Michael Turner will stay 2nd. Randy Giroux will go faster. He's now 6th. 18:02.2 on lap number 2 for Giroux. And it looks like Denny Schwartz going to roll by slowly here. He will officially stay 20th in the 3:21. So it's Kurt Spalding, Michael Turner, Dalton Lanik, Coleman Evans, and Jason Garber right now, the top 5. Looks like there might be some debris on the racing surface here. They're going to send one of the buggies out there, see if they can pick that up real quickly before we continue on with qualifying. So right now, 20 cars have qualified. Looks like we'll have 33 officially in this group. As we said, a couple of latecomers here. The 99 Wade Olmsted had to go to high school today before he could come racing, so he got here a little bit late. A couple other drivers rolling in a little bit late after driver cut off as well. Raymond Rogers, then 78 car, he's on the infield, driver out of Tampa. Chris Wilson, we mentioned a little bit earlier in that 17 car. You see him sitting down on the infield as well. They will be split up into either A or B group for qualifying. Drivers rolling across the scales down there. So the next group comes rolling out. Young driver out of Brownsdale, Minnesota will be the next driver out. That's Gavin Shaw. Shaw's out of Brownsdale, as we mentioned in that Rochester overhead doors. K&K Trucking and Freddie's Detailing 155. Also on the racetrack, 35 car. That's Saxton, Pennsylvania's Michael Altobelli. Altobelli, of course, in that Dan's Auto Body, Mahindra Tractors, and Bobcat number 35. He'll roll down the front straightaway. Right behind him will be George Dixon, the driver out of Shirleysburg, Pennsylvania. He's in that Base Race Fuels LeMay Trucking LaSalle Racing Engine 77 car. And a final driver in this group will be Dave Weedholder. Weedholder out of Liberty, Illinois. He's in that statewide Solar Coors Light A1 Performance 05. Gavin Shaw, 18th quick, lap number 1. Altobelli by 15th quick. How about George Dixon, 2nd quick? Behind the wheel, the 77 cars, 17.660 for Dixon. Dave Weedholder will come by 22nd quick. See if anybody can flirt with that 17.378 by Kurt Spalding. Can George Dixon do it? No. He'll go faster. It'll be a 17.599. Dave Weedholder faster as well. 18.378 for Weedholder. But George Dixon almost got there. 2nd quick right now. 17.599. 17599 for the Pennsylvania racer in 77. Next group ready to roll. First driver onto the racetrack will be Panama City, Florida's Todd Nieheiser. Nieheiser in that discount towing DIRTVision Graphics Elite Race Car 72. Right behind him will be the M20 car. That's Mike Potowski. Potowski out of Guys Mills, Pennsylvania. He's sitting in that AMP Electric Potowski Motorsports M20. Also on the racetrack will be the 77 car. That's Ray Bollinger. Bollinger out of Kewanee, Illinois. He's in that Vanquish Race Cars, Nutrien Ag Solution, and Korth Farms 77 car. And Brad DeYoung on the racetrack as well. DeYoung out of Wheatfield, Indiana, the Diamond Race Cars. P&G Power, Extreme Style Signs and Graphics, number 7. Everybody rolling by. Here comes Panama City, Florida's Todd Nieheiser. He'll go by 23rd quick. Nieheiser 23rd, Potowski 21st. Ray Bollinger's going to come by. He'll go 14th. And 19th for Brad DeYoung on lap number 1. Everybody trying to get up to speed here. See if they can't turn it a little bit better. 2nd lap, Nieheiser. He's going to try to improve. He will. 18th quick, 18.338. Faster for Potowski as well, 18.425. Ray Bollinger is going to go faster. He's into the top 10. He'll be 9th, 18.031. And Brad DeYoung faster as well, 18.375. 183.75 for Brad DeYoung. Next group getting ready to roll should be led to green by Jason Cox, a driver to Clinton, Indiana. He's in that Mineco Logistics. Jason Cox Trucking, Carmichael Race Body 77C. Should be the first one to come rolling on out. Drivers making their way through turns 3 and 4. Once they get off the racing surface, the next 4 will come rolling on out. Here comes Cox. Jason Cox going to roll out. Right behind him will be the 11 car of Zane Odewald. Odewald out of Eustis, Florida. That's Zane's Auto Service, Mullins Race Engine, Seagirl Racewear. Number 11 as he rolls onto the racing surface. Raymond Rogers on the racetrack as well. Rogers out of Tampa, Florida. He's in that Catskin. Rogers racing it. Better Leather Auto Trim. 78 car and the 99 will be Wade Olmstead. Olmstead of Ybor City, Florida. The Gino Sewer and Drain Cleaning. Action Graphics, DeLand Auto Parts, number 99. Everybody rolling on by. First lap for Jason Cox, 29th quick, 26th quick for Zane Odewald. Raymond Rogers going to roll by, he'll be 30th quick, and lap number 1 for Wade Olmstead, 31st. Again, everybody trying to pick it up here on lap number 2 as we wrap up qualifying Group A. Cox will roll by, 26th quick for Odewald. Cox will be 32nd, Raymond Rogers 30th, and Wade Olmstead 31st as we wrap up qualifying Group A. So that'll do it. Qualifying Group A into the record books. Top 5 look like this. Coleman Evans 5th, 17C. Dalton Lanik 4th in the 51. Michael Turner 3rd in the 27. George Dixon 2nd in the 77. And your quick qualifier here in Group A for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Time of 17:378. Waterfleet, Michigan's Kurt Spaulding in the 5. So Group A in the books. Group B is rolling. Tyler Evans will be the first driver onto the racetrack. He's out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia, in that lethal race car, Evans Construction Frames, etc. 17 team. 463 of Daniel Sanchez out there as well. He's out of Averill Park, New York. He's in that 5-star race car bodies, Danny Sanchez Contracting and Silly's Competition Racing Engines 463 car. You'll see the 7 car of Evan Taylor. He's there. He's out of Salzburg, Pennsylvania. The Taylor Services, Guardian Fleet Service, and Willie's Carbon Dyno Shop number 7. And David Stremme on the racetrack as well. Stremme out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. He's in the Weir's Machine and Racing Products. Willie's Carb Lethal 35. Tyler Evans will come by, 18,144. Daniel Sanchez, 19,368. Taylor, 17,871. And David Stremme, 17,756. That'll be lap number 1. Stremme the fastest lap on lap 1 here in Group B. Tyler Evans will stand on lap number 1. Daniel Sanchez will also stand on lap number 1, as will Jonathan Taylor. See if David Stremme can go any faster on lap number 2. Nope, but a 17,756 is the time to beat early here in qualifying Group B. So Stremme with a 17,756. Time to beat here early in Group B. Next driver set to roll onto the racetrack will be led out by Ohsweken, Ontario, Canada's Glenn Stiers. Stiers in that Ohsweken Speedway. G-Force TV and Glenn Stiers are racing 0. Right behind him, another Canadian, it's Miles Bolio. Bolio out of Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. Coast Island Marine EMD Race Wraps Lethal, number 18. Also on the racetrack, the 01 car, that's Braden Weller. Weller out of Palmer, Nebraska, the University of Northwestern Ohio. Profiler Headers, Wix Filters, number 01. And Kenny Wallace on the racetrack as well. Wallace out of St. Louis, Missouri. He sits in the Southern Country Custom Priority Aviation and Sunoco Race Fuels, 36. Glenn Stiers will roll by 4th quick. Miles Bolio 5th. Braden Weller 6th. Kenny Wallace 3rd on lap number 1. Wallace with an 18,133, the fastest on lap number 1. Everybody rolling off turn number 4, trying to get a little bit better. Glenn Stiers does 18,206, 5th quick. Faster for Miles Bolio, 18.245, sixth quick. Faster for Braden Weller, 18.757, seventh quick. And Kenny Wallace faster. He'll go third quick officially, 18.133, 181.33 for the Herminator in 36. So, David Stremme, Jonathan Taylor, Kenny Wallace, top three right now. Cole Charneski will be the first driver out in the next group. He's out of Denmark, Wisconsin, that Pro Property Service, CC's Bushville Lanes, and Bob Cullen Racing 21CZ. He's got a stock car win already in 2025 over at Central Arizona Raceway in Casa Grande, Arizona a couple of weeks ago. Jordan Kaler will come rolling on out as well. Kohler in that Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Kohler Motorsports Dirt Car Lift 114. Also on the racetrack, we'll find Scott Ladner. Ladner out of Lumberton, Mississippi, in the CB Developers. Ladner Engineering and Southern Pipe and Supply number 21. And Mitch Thomas is there as well. Mitch out of Oakland, Maryland, in the Valvoline, Ohio Pile Vacation Rentals, number 97. Cole Charneski, seventh quick on lap number 1. Jordan Kohler, sixth quick. Scott Ladner will go ninth. And quick time for Mitch Thomas, 17.702, 177.02 for Thomas. Good first lap right there. Cole Charneski go faster on lap number 2. He's fifth quick, 18.143. Jordan Kohler, seventh quick, 18.144. Here comes Ladner, 18.256, and faster for Mitch Thomas. Thomas, 17.534, 175.34. For the young driver out of Oakland, Maryland in 97. So Mitch Thomas now, the top of the leaderboard. Thomas, Stremme, Taylor will be the top three as we continue to roll on in Group B. Rob Fuqua will be the first driver out. He's out of Paris, Illinois. He's in that Rob Fuqua Trucking, Mindkill Logistics, and Real Wheels. Number 3F down the back straightaway. Also on the racing surface, we've got one rolled to a halt, but we'll have the 5 of Bobby Bagley. He's out there. He's out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia, in that Parkersburg Plumbing Supply, Serve Pro, Auto Advantage number 5. Also on the racetrack will be the 15 car. That's Justin Stone. Stone's out of Middlebury, Vermont, in that G-Stone Motorsports, Gardner's Trading Post, Lethal number 15, and we've got the 11 car needing an assistance. That's Aiden Hins. Hins out of Loveland, Ohio, in the University of Northwestern Ohio. Profiler Headers and NGK Spark Plugs at number 11. So working to try to get the 11 car onto the infield. Tough break for Aiden Hins, as unfortunately he will not be able to qualify, at least not right now. So they're going to roll him onto the infield, see if they can't diagnose the situation down there for one of the UNOH cars. All right, we're going to roll a 4th car onto the racetrack in this group, and it'll be Cole Falloway. Falloway out of Owensboro, Kentucky, in that Falloway Auto Sales, Slicker Graphics Diggers Incorporated, 66. As he will join the field on the racetrack as we get set to go. We'll see if we can't get to a 17.534 right now. Mitch Thomas, the time to beat. Everybody on the clock as we get ready to continue on. Bobby Bagley, lap number 1, will be 12th quick. Justin Stone will be 14th quick. Falloway into the top 5. They'll come across 5th quick on lap number 1. Here comes Rob Fuqua, will be 15th quick. Bobby Bagley going to roll by. He'll be faster on lap number 1. He'll stay 13th. Stone faster, he'll be 14th. Falloway faster, 17.934, fastest lap in that group. He'll be 5th quick officially for Cole Falloway. And Rob Fuke will stand on lap number 1 with an 18.979. So, Cole Falloway now into the top 5. It is still Mitch Thomas, 17.534. Falloway officially 4th quick. Into the 66. Next group set to roll onto the racetrack will be led by Ethan Boomsma. He's out of Wheatfield, Indiana. The Always Underground Incorporated KV Electric Longhorn 23B as he works his way onto the racing surface. Also on the racetrack will be the 31G of Stephen Padula. Padula out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. That elite race car, Padula Materials and Landscape Supply. 31G, right behind him will be Charlie Sandercock. He's out of Trenton, Ontario, Canada. Rapid Rat Services, Central Ontario Spray Foam. 57 car, and right behind him will be G. Nicholas. Nicholas in Lowell, Arkansas, the G. Nicholas LLC, Midwest Rapco 11N. Everybody working down the front straightaway. Padula will be 14th officially. Sandercock 15th. Here comes Gene Nicholas. He'll roll by 19th. 23 of Boomsman, 21st on their opening lap. Everybody trying to pick up a little bit of speed here. Let's see what the 31 does. Way better. 6th quick for Stephen Padula. Padula actually 5th quick now with an 18.101, 1.101 for Padula. 14th quick for Charlie Sandercock. 17th for Gene Nicholas. And Ethan Boomswell will go 19th on lap number 2. Handful of competitors to go. Next 4 drivers will be led out by Quincy, Illinois' Sean Deering. Deering will be the first driver onto the racetrack. He sits in that Woods Smoked Meats Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing and Three Brothers Machine Longhorn by Pierce race car. For the driver out of Quincy, Illinois, right behind him will be Trevor Neville. Neville out of Mackinac, Illinois, the J. Neville Transfer, Multi-Firex Spark Plug Wires, Pontiac RV 777. Right behind him will be Hunter Breland. Breland out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in that CB Developers. Ladner Engineering, Design Precast 21B. And the 56 of Colt Profit on the racetrack as well. Profit comes to you out of Crossville, Tennessee, in Extreme Pressure Washing. Roland Digital Media 56. Here we go. Trevor Neville, 4th quick. Neville with a 17.917. Colton Profit 7th quick, 18.106. Sean Deering's gonna race by lap number 2. For Deering will be a 19.101, that's 22nd quick. Neville faster, 3rd quick, 17.809. Hunter Breland faster as well, 18.476. And Colton Profit will stand on his first lap with an 18.106. So it's Mitch Thomas, David Stremme, and now Trevor Neville into the top 3 with a couple groups yet to go. Next group will be led to green by Clinton, Illinois' Kyle Hammer. Hammer in that Allgaier Performance, Troy Page Excavating, and RLM Enterprises 45. He works down the back straight away. Right behind him, Claypool, Indiana's Zeke McKenzie. McKenzie in that Toro Superior Sales and Service Integra Shocks, Kaiser 24. And Kyle Strickler is going to roll onto the racetrack as well. Your defending Gator Championship night winner. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The G-Style Transport, Melanie Motorsports, and Donaldson Grading at number 8. Time to beat 17.534 here in Group B, 17.378 overall. See if anybody can get to it. We got 3 good ones here. White flag out, Kyle Hammer, 6th quick, 18.106, 18.016, 18.016. Zeke McKenzie now 6th, 17.976. Here comes Strickler, Kyle Strickler, quick time, 17.533, 1.7533. That's fastest here in Group B. Kyle Hammer trying to go better. He will not. He'll stand on lap number 1. Here comes Zeke McKenzie. McKenzie going to try to go quicker. Nope. He'll stay 7th quick. Can Strickler do it? Kyle Strickler, lap 1, 17.533. Lap 2, 17.612. So lap number 1 a little bit better. He is quickest in Group B, though, with a 17.5.3.3. Looks like we've got one group yet to go. Evan Taylor will be the first driver out. He's at Salzburg, Pennsylvania, in that Taylor Services Guardian Fleet Service Willys Carbon Dyno Shop. Number 7, Jim Britt, rolled in a little bit late tonight as well. Britt in that 70H car. He'll work his way down the back straight away. One of our late arrivals tonight. And we mentioned Chris Wilson on the racetrack as well. Wilson, he's out of Louisa, Kentucky, behind the wheel of that Wilson Monument Company number 17. So he'll come in a little bit late as well. Everybody on the clock here. Evan Taylor will go 9th quick, 18.079. Here comes Jim Britt. Britt's gonna roll by, the driver out of Palm Coast, Florida, 18.504. And Chris Wilson's gonna come by, 18.687. 18.687, driver in the 17. We'll go, Evan Taylor will stay 9th quick. Britt will stay 22nd. And Wilson will improve. He'll go 23rd, though, with an 18.643. So there it is. Qualifying done for the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. Driver fastest in Group B. 17.533 was Kyle Strickler. Driver fastest in Group A and fastest overall. Driver out of Watervliet, Michigan will be Kurt Spalding in the 5. So officially 65 DIRTcar UMP Modifieds. At last counts, we said several drivers rolling in here a little bit late, up to the overall car count to 65. Qualifying in the books for both Group A and Group B as we are getting set for opening ceremonies here in a moment. For those of you watching on DIRTVision, you are watching night number 1 of the DIRTcar Nationals on DIRTVision. We're going to send you off to a quick break and bring you right back with opening ceremonies.